Hi, good evening. This is Alex Camberis, Assistant Director of Family Services at the Virginia Department of Social Services, and we welcome you tonight to this webinar to discuss the Comprehensive Child Welfare Information System, or CWIS as we like to call it. It is a new computer system that we at the department are designing and hope to implement over the next several years to replace existing computer systems that caseworkers use to work with families and children in child welfare. And we're excited to have this opportunity to reach out to foster, kinship, and adoptive parents around the state to get your input, because one thing we are going to be doing in this new system is to try and be as innovative as possible and allow access to foster, adoptive, and kinship parents. On the screen, you will see a portion of our vision statement. Newfound Families has sent out the full document, but on the screen you will see a sample. Highlighted in green is a key piece of information. In the past, these IT systems were all about storing information, and we strongly believe at the department that any case files that we collect and information is not just a repository of data. We're telling the story of children, and long after we're out of their lives, this data, this story is still there for them to see. And we encounter many children and young adults who come back years later and want to know more about their time in foster care. And unfortunately, in the current system, we are unable to do it efficiently. And it is our goal to design a system that would allow storage of that. And we need your help because we also want to give access to the system to you. Of course, that would look different depending on your role. If you're a caseworker, you can see everything. Foster parents should only be able to see what they're allowed to see. Adoptive parents can see what they're allowed to see. But we need to know what you want to see, and we don't presume to know that. So this call tonight, this webinar, is all about us asking you a few questions and to get you thinking about what would you like in your role as an adoptive, foster, or kinship parent to have. You'll see at the bottom in blue there that we believe that workers are not the only users of this system. And so it is our goal to allow access to you. What that looks like, we don't know yet. How long it'll take, it'll probably be a few years, but we need to start the process now. All right. So we would like to pose to you a few questions. The first question would be, in your role, what information about the children in your home or coming to your home would you like to have access to, either in more detail or because you don't have it at all? What we're talking about here is what information would make your jobs easier. Is it the medical history? Is it the allergy information? What schools they were in, or if they had an IEP? We can imagine that that information would be very important to you as you care for the children in your home. And we know that right now it can oftentimes be difficult, not because people are avoiding you. Of course, they never do that, but because they want to do the work they're doing and they're out in the field and you have to wait for them to come back to their desk. And so if you could just log in and get it quickly, what would you need? So we just gave you a few examples, but we're sure there are many more. So would really love you to think about what information would you need access to. Second question would be, how could technology help or support you in the day-to-day work that you do as foster, kinship, and adoptive parents? You probably take lots of pictures of the kids when they're in care, and where do those pictures go, and how could you get that to the caseworker so that it becomes part of the life book of the child, whether they're adopted by you or someone else, or that youth ages out and comes back years later and wants to know what they look like as a child. Right now, there is no easy way or even any way in many areas to collect that information. Imagine if you could just log in and upload the photos or provide notes or blogs or anything of that sort to put in the file. Would you want a way to communicate with an assigned worker so that it's documented in the system and it's clear when you reached out and when they responded? Would you want to know about court dates and other pertinent case information? We put a few items on the screen you see, but we're sure there are many more. The next question, thinking about prospective foster and adoptive parents, back when you were thinking about becoming one, how could technology be used to have made the recruitment and application process easier? Were you in a situation where you didn't know who to call, or you called one place and they said no, call the other county, or call this licensed child placing agency? What if you could just log in and based on your zip code be directed to the right place, or have an application so that you could get started on the paperwork right away and submit it without having to wait for that? Next, how could technology help track the training and orientation requirements during the application process? As part of being a foster parent in Virginia, you have to take ongoing training and your initial training. Sometimes that's at foster parent college or other venues. How could you log in and track the training you're doing so that the case managers and the licensing agencies have an idea about what training you have? The whole idea is, what could you do to help move things along? This holds true in all parts of our lives. It's not just social work, but the online has become a tool for many things. And we have not embraced it in child welfare, but we are hoping that with your help we could. And finally, how could we get information from outside the system or outside your licensing agency to you? Right now, there's no way in Virginia for us to reach out other than through newfound families to foster families in the state. And not all foster families are members of newfound families. Same holds true with kinship and adoptive parents. So if there was a way to announce webinars, trainings, opportunities, besides the newfound listserv, how else could we get information to you? So these are 5 questions, 5 areas that we'd like you to think about, put down some ideas. We have a second webinar scheduled for Saturday night, Saturday, December 3rd, from 7 to 9. You'll find the registration information in the Newfound Families newsletter that went out earlier this week. There is a survey that will be sent out to all foster, adoptive, and kinship families early in the next few days. We're going to use the questions I just asked you as the basis of that survey. And finally, if you just want to reach out directly or you have ideas, thoughts, you're always welcome to email us at ccwis@vss.virginia.gov. We would be happy to take your emails individually. And really, we want to encourage you to share your ideas. We're really committed to having foster parents be active participants in a new system. What that looks like and how long it'll take to develop, we don't know. The first thing we'd like to do is a mobility tool for caseworkers as part of this project so that they don't have to come back to their desk to do some of the work and hopefully free up some of their time. If there was a usefulness for you to use some sort of mobility on a laptop, on a tablet or a phone for you to communicate or submit in photos or information or do forms. Those are other ideas you could submit to us in the survey or the email address. I thank you for your time. Hopefully you take a few minutes to put your ideas down. Again, email us at ccwis@vss.virginia.gov or reach out to your ambassadors and other Newfound Family staff if you have ideas. Thank you very much.